Conservative new media viewers and NBA fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFE, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we're here to talk about LeBron James returning to his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. I want to analyze this from a couple different perspectives, from a public relations perspective, from a basketball perspective, and of course what it means for LeBron and his legacy going forward. So let's just take it right from the top. From a public relations perspective, this was handled about as well as it possibly could have been handled. Yeah, it drug out a little bit. It took a little time. But LeBron wanted to hear out the Miami Heat in their meeting in Las Vegas, which I believe took place on Wednesday. He actually had to sign the contracts, I think, for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I believe that got done late last night in Miami, late Thursday night on July 10th. Kyrie Irving had to sign his extension, his max extension, which he did. So there were some logistical things that had to happen. But this was handled extremely well, and that is in contrast to the decision 1.0 that took place in 2010. So I give a lot of credit to LeBron and his team for doing this the right way. LeBron looks like the loyal prodigal son, the prodigy that's returning home to fulfill his promise to the hometown and home state fans. This was great. I'm very happy for him. I'm a big fan of LeBron as a basketball player and as a person. So this is fantastic from that perspective. Let's talk about it from a basketball perspective. The move that remains to be done here, as most of you know who are Cleveland Cavaliers fans, is to trade for Kevin Love. I guess you also could trade for Carmelo Anthony. I don't know if that's doable in terms of salary cap space. I don't know if Carmelo Anthony and his wife want to live in Cleveland. Carmelo's wife, Lala, is an actress, and I don't know how many acting roles there are available in Cleveland. But I don't want to speak for them. I don't know. I'm not sure. My guess is that Cleveland is targeting Kevin Love. Although, again, I would not be surprised if Carmelo Anthony ended up on the Cavs because LeBron and Carmelo want to play it together. But let's just go with Kevin Love for now. If the Cavaliers get Kevin Love, you're looking at a potential starting lineup, depending on who's traded, for Kevin Love. You're looking at a potential starting lineup of Kyrie Irving, Andrew Wiggins, LeBron, Kevin Love, and I would imagine Anderson Varejao. It's a new big three and a devastating big three. And the oldest guys in the lineup are Varejao, who I think is going to be 32 next year, and LeBron. So Kevin Love's, 25? Kyrie Irving's 23 or something, and Wiggins is 19? This big three, if it comes to pass, is better than the Heat's big three. Kyrie Irving at this point in his career is better than Dwayne Wade at this point in Dwayne Wade's career because of Wade's knee issues and injury issues. Kevin Love is a better basketball player than Chris Bosh, although Chris Bosh is a better defender than Kevin Love. He might be a little bit better all around than Kevin Love is right now, but Kevin Love is unbelievably productive. There's a lot of people who are fans of the league who massively underrate Kevin Love. Kevin Love is, without question, one of the 5 most productive players in the NBA. He does it 9 in, 9 out, and he's a stats machine. Honestly, he's a lot like LeBron in that regard. They're both stat machines. You cannot be a stat machine unless you work extremely hard. So I know what Kevin Love's deficiencies are. I know he doesn't play great defense. I know he'll take rebounds away from his own teammates and all that. Kevin Love has a huge motor. He has an incredible amount of energy. That's what I mean when I say a big motor. He's focused. He wants to prove people wrong. He's got a chip on his shoulder. So if he goes to Cleveland, he's going to be on a mission. And you're going to see unbelievable numbers from him. Incredible numbers, in my opinion. In fact, I would say LeBron's probably the favorite for the MVP next season, but he might have to beat out Kevin Love if Love ends up being his teammate. Kyrie is, if you haven't watched him a lot, he's an incredible one-on-one player. One of the best in the NBA. One-on-one meaning his ability to create shots, make shots, get shots that he wants. He's a great finisher around the rim. Probably the best finisher in the NBA, in my opinion, who finishes below the rim, meaning he's not dunking everything, but he's very good at finishing around the rim. This team, if they get Love, they will be out in transition. They will crush teams on the break with Irving and LeBron and Wiggins and Kevin Love throwing outlet passes. They will dominate teams on the break the way that the Heat used to when they were a little bit younger, the big three. I think if Kevin Love comes to the team, I would favor them over every other team in the East. I would favor them over the Bulls, even if the Bulls get Rose back, Derrick Rose back healthy, and if they get Carmelo. That might sound a little steep, and maybe it is, but this team's going to be extremely good. I'm very impressed with the coach, David Blatt, having researched him. Very impressed. He's a rookie head coach in the NBA, but he's been coaching for 20 years, and he's won a lot of Coach of the Year awards. This guy is good. He's very good. Might take him a little time to adjust to the NBA, but he knows how to coach, and he'll show that, I'm quite sure. The Pacers, there's a good chance they're going to lose Lance Stevenson. They might trade Roy Hibbert. They're not going to have the same core anymore, or they probably won't. And they're mentally, they're not ready to get over the hump yet, even if they kept everybody. I don't think they're going to have a very difficult time dealing with the Cavs. In fact, the main competition, based upon what the landscape looks like right now, the main competition for the Cavaliers next year is probably going to be Chicago in the Eastern Conference. You can put Indiana in there too, but my guess is Chicago is going to be the cream of the crop that Miami that Cleveland's going to have to deal with. I'm trying to think of some other teams. The Wizards will be good next year. They should be even better. So give them respect. They're a very talented young team. Still, the biggest issue for Cleveland, assuming they get Kevin Love, is going to be chemistry. It's just going to take time for everybody to learn one another, for the new coach to learn the players, for Andrew Wiggins to develop. So it's not going to be perfect. But when you have somebody like LeBron with leading the way, and everybody will defer to LeBron, including Kevin Love, it'll get worked out. It'll get worked out, and it'll get worked out relatively quickly, in my opinion. And LeBron will be the go-to guy. When LeBron went to Miami in 2010, and for the 2010-2011 season, LeBron backed off and kind of let Wade be the man. And it didn't work. Not because Wade isn't good, but because LeBron's the best. And that won't happen again. LeBron will be the man and dictate what happens on the team. He's ready for that role. He's ready to be the unquestioned leader. And everybody on the team will defer to him and let him do that. So it will come together quicker than what things came together in Miami because LeBron's maturity is at a different level and his status is at a different level. You're talking about one of the 3 players in the NBA, I believe, at this time actively playing who has 2 finals MVPs, the others being Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. So LeBron doesn't have to prove anything to anybody, and his teammates will let him do what he wants to do, and he'll direct everything. He's got an incredibly high basketball IQ, and so he will pull the team together fast. They will be contenders next year as long as everybody is healthy and if they get Kevin Love. I love the roster. Like I said, they will have to give up some guys if they get Kevin Love. They'll probably have to. I know they made a pitch to Minnesota with for Dion Waiters and I think Anthony Bennett and a first-round pick. I mean, that hurts if you lose those guys, but the roster's still deep. The roster's still young. The Cavs are in good position, so they're going to be strong moving forward. They're going to be strong, and unlike the last time LeBron was in Cleveland, I think free agents will go to Cleveland to play with LeBron. A number of free agents didn't want to go to Cleveland before because LeBron hadn't won yet, and for some people around the league, Cleveland's not the most attractive destination to go to. Now it's going to be a lot more attractive because LeBron is a winner now. You know he can produce titles, and he wants to produce titles in Cleveland. And as for all the grief that Dan Gilbert gets, the owner, and the letter and all the other stuff, Dan Gilbert is an extremely driven person. He wants to win as badly as any owner in the NBA. He will do whatever it takes. He will spend into the luxury tax. He will make moves. He will do anything. So LeBron knows that. He and Dan Gilbert are on the same page. They want to win in Cleveland no matter what. And so Dan Gilbert's will do that. One of the things that happened to LeBron and for the Miami Heat in this past season was that they cut cost a little bit. They got rid of Mike Miller so that the owner, Mickey Arison, didn't have to pay the luxury tax hit on Mike Miller, I believe. They might not have gone all out in the finals, in my opinion. Meaning, once you've won a couple rings, it's easy to get soft. And I thought Miami looked soft in the finals. They didn't look hungry for it, many of the players. The only guy who looked like he was really hungry for the three-peat was LeBron. Now you're on a team with young guys that want to prove themselves. They want to make their reputations. Like I said, Kevin Love is coming in with a chip on his shoulder. He's been dissed by everybody. He's not. He can't make the playoffs. He's not that good. So he's going to be on a mission. LeBron's on a mission. Dan Gilbert's on a mission. Kyrie Irving's going to be on a mission. Andrew Wiggins is going to be on a mission to prove that he belongs and he's elite. So this is a hungry team, and they're going to do a lot of damage. Let's just put it that way. Again, move number one. Well, move number one was get Kyrie on the extension. Move number two was get LeBron. And now the final move is get Kevin Love. Or get Carmelo. Get the third star. And then you're going to see some serious domination from this team. So I love it. Now, finally, LeBron and the legacy. LeBron always wanted to do this. He always wanted to go back to Cleveland. The truth is he never wanted to leave Cleveland, in my opinion. The reason why he left, as I alluded to earlier here, was because he didn't think he could win there. He didn't think that the top free agents were going to go to Cleveland, and that's why he left. He knew he had to win titles, and he didn't think he could do it there because If I remember correctly, in 2010, Amari Stoudemire didn't really want to go to Cleveland. And some other free agents kind of made it known they didn't want to go to Cleveland. So LeBron left because he had to leave in order to win the rings. Now, he knows how to win. He's the director. And again, I'm sure players will go to Cleveland now. Kevin Love, if LeBron's not in Cleveland, Kevin Love's not going to Cleveland. But with LeBron there, Kevin Love will go to Cleveland. Carmelo Anthony might go to Cleveland. Guys want to go with LeBron now, and they will follow his lead. He has proven he can get it done, and that's a different thing. That's a different look than for what happened in 2010. And let's be honest here, Cleveland has an extremely talented roster. So if you're a guy in the league and you want some notoriety and you want to get paid and you want to be in the highlights and on TV, you're going to Cleveland now. And I think it's fantastic. I'm happy for LeBron. I'm happy for his family. I'm happy for his team, his circle of advisors and everything. I'm happy for Chris Sheridan, who got this story right from the beginning. He said that this was what was going to happen, and he was correct. Sam Amico of Fox Sports Ohio, same thing. The person on Twitter named Pro Basketball Draft, same thing. These guys knew it. They called it. They said it was happening. And they were right. So give them credit for that. I feel bad for the Miami fans, but it's not about Miami. Having grown up, I grew up maybe, 110 miles from Cleveland. I've been to Cleveland a number of times. Where I grew up was southwestern Pennsylvania, which is not far from Cleveland. I've been to Cleveland a bunch. I've been to Akron and Cedar Point. Akron is where LeBron, actually the city where he grew up. I've been to Ohio. There's a different mentality in that area of the country than any other area of the country. It's that area, for the people not from the United States, the area is known as the Rust Belt. And it's called the Rust Belt in reference to it was the industrial center of the United States. But now it's called rust because it's fading away. It's corroding. The industrial sector is fading away and leaving those areas. And so many of those areas, including Cleveland, they're in decline. People are leaving those cities rather than going to them. Other cities in the Rust Belt are Detroit, Pittsburgh. Those are probably three of the biggest cities in the Rust Belt. Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. There's more, but that kind of gives you an idea of the geography of where this is. Kind of mid-Atlantic, mid-northeast, those areas. The mentality of that area is very blue-collar, very hardworking, routine, just lunch pail, salt of the earth, get it done, no complaints type of thing. And I'm sure LeBron and his family liked Miami. And I've been in South Florida, and it's great. But it's not the same vibe. It's not the same mentality. And if I personally had the choice to raise my kids in the Rust Belt or South Florida, I'd raise them in the Rust Belt. Because it's, again, the ethic and the values are different, in my opinion. That's what LeBron grew up with. That's who he is. That's who his family is, and it's who his family wants to be. They want to raise their kids in that. And if you're not from the area, as you will hear from many Cleveland fans, you won't understand. And I agree with that. You won't understand. The same way that if I wouldn't understand growing up in Cuba because I never did. But because I grew up in the Rust Belt and I grew up in that, I know what he's talking about. It's a different feel. And that's a big part of why he's going back. That's who he is. And as you see in the title of this video, this is unfinished business. This is the return. This is a unwritten chapter that LeBron needs to write. This needed to happen. It needs to happen. For him to complete his legacy, he needs to go back to Cleveland and win at least one title. And then his career and his story will be complete. And that's why he's doing it. So, again, to the Miami fans, I know you're not happy. And I don't blame you. You didn't do anything wrong. LeBron came to South Florida, and he delivered. Every year he was there, you went to the finals, which hasn't been done. 4 straight years to the finals haven't been done in like 25 years in the NBA. You got 2 titles, which is 2 more than the Heat had in their entire history before LeBron came. So people are going to be mad. That's fair. But I think you should also be grateful. For Cleveland fans, they haven't won a championship in a major sport in that city since like the late 60s, I think. They're dying for a winner. They're dying for a championship. And if LeBron brings them a championship, regardless of what happened in the past and people burning jerseys, he's going to be the hero of all heroes. Another thing for LeBron is he gets to go and hang out with Johnny Manziel. I mean, which, of course, his friends, his company represents Manziel, I believe, or promotes him or whatever. He's tied with Johnny Manziel. So he gets to go there and personally oversee Manziel's development. You couldn't ask for anything better than that. As most of you know, Manziel, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing his name right. I've actually never heard it because I don't watch a lot of college football. Is a phenomenon. He's huge. He's got mass appeal like LeBron does. So those guys are going to rule Cleveland. They're going to take over everything, especially if Manziel can become the starter and Cleveland can do something. I mean, these guys will be the most celebrated sports heroes since Jim Brown, maybe, in the city. So I understand it. I like it. I think that Miami, in their heart of hearts, understands it as well. And I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, one piece remains. Get Kevin Love or Carmelo Anthony. And then this thing is at full blast takeoff. This is going to explode. All eyes in the league will be focused on this team next year. San Antonio, as great as they are, they never get a lot of media exposure. Which isn't fair, but they just don't. They're not, quote, sexy, unquote. Who else is the league going to follow? OKC. OKC is a great team, but they're not sexy. They're not in a sexy city. They're not whatever. Cleveland's not a sexy city, but LeBron brings sexiness to the city. So Cleveland is going to be the focus of the NBA next year, in my opinion. And that's exactly what LeBron and his team of advisors wants. That's exactly what Dan Gilbert wants. That's exactly what a lot of NBA fans want, and they're going to get it. So, as I said, get Kevin Love or Carmelo, and then everything is set. Cleveland will be on national TV as many times as maximally allowed next year. I'm sure of it. And the rollout is just beginning. If you're in Cleveland and you're listening to this, you know the party is just starting. And it's not going to end. It's just going to roll right into the season and deep in the queue. Lay the hammer down. This is only the beginning. And I'm happy for you guys. You deserve it. This is the proper conclusion to what happened before. So, fantastic. Okay, that is it. We encourage you to come and join the Conservative New Media Facebook group, which has over 3,000 members and counting. You will find information on how to join the group in the video description below the video player. Thumbs up, thumbs down on the video. Your comments below. What do you think about all this? Are you happy? Are you mad? Do you not care? You tell us in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. I cannot wait for the rest of this off season and for next season. Next season is going to be just an incredible year with this story, the return, leading the way. It is going to be one heck of a ride. For Conservative New Media, I am PFV, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching. We will talk to you again soon.